Hello Aquarius, welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Two of Wands, powerful energy. This is dominion. This is a recognition of those things that we can control and those things that we cannot. You can control what you do, what you eat, your risks, how you interpret things, how kind you are to yourself and how kind you are to others, how you respond to challenges, how you respond to people coming into your space and trying to tell you what's what. Okay? This is in some ways a defensive energy. Because this is saying, look, this is my bubble, this is my zone, this is my cubicle, this is my room, my office, my house, my life. And I'm not going to tolerate anybody coming in and trying to disrupt that, trying to take control away from me. Okay? So it might be right now that you feel in your life there is somebody that is sort of coming into your space trying to take over, right? Now, we have to remember that we cannot control them. We can control how we express our feelings, how we ask for help, how we voice our feelings and our opinions. Well, let's put this card into some context. Okay, let's see what is going on here. Two of Wands. We've got a Libra energy. That's a justice card. It's balance, fairness, karma. Equilibrium. We've got a Nine of Wands, Three of Wands, the entire universe, and we've got a Nine of Pentacles. On the path of the Serpent, we have a 10 of Pentacles. We've got the Star card, your superpower card. Look at that. Following your starlight. Realizing that sometimes brute force is not the way to do it. Sometimes we feel like just because we're right, that we can use brute force to get what we want. I wonder if your star, your intuition, your spiritual path is showing you a different way to get what you want. Even though you're right, doesn't mean we always have to assert ourselves in this particular way. We've got an Ace of Pentacles and we've got the Empress. Even the Empress, that's good. Even the Empress is kind of saying that, look, there might be a better way to deal with this situation than just, again, sort of the brute force. It might be more of a strategy, might be more of a balanced approach, okay? Might be more of a yin approach to get that best life, right? Again, we cannot control other people, but we can control how we react to other people. Maybe this is a kill them with kindness kind of thing. Or is at least, even if it's not kindness, even if we are having that Two of Wands and we're going to be, strong in our defense against this energy that's coming in, because we are right and we have to stand up for what's right and do what's right. Maybe this is with the Libra energy, the Justice card is saying, let's be fair, let's be balanced, let's stay in control of ourselves. Because this alone is saying that I expect that just because I'm right, I can do what I need to do and do follow that sort of impulse and get what I want. But what if this is an overreaction? What if we're not thinking it through, right? What if we're just kind of letting the passion, letting the heat of the moment get the best of us? A lot of Aries energy here. The Sun in Aries becoming Mars in Aries. Because we know we're right about something, then we get this sort of aggressive energy and we think we're going to get what we want. right? Let's stay balanced. Let's listen before we act. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down right here with Michael Scott right on top. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's take a look around the room here. We've got major, major, major. And I think it's pretty good. I think your star, your superpower here, is your ability to not act impulsively, right? That Two of Wands, it might really be a card that's saying, hey, stop. Stop doing what you're about to do. Stop reacting to this the way that you are, the way that you have been reacting. It could be a card really that's saying control yourself. And let's listen. We don't have to be the first one to respond to this situation. That maybe we can listen. We can weigh the options. We can take in all the information. We can travel via starlight, navigate via that intuition. If we want the best possible outcome, which of course the best possible outcome is that Empress energy. That's your big rock candy mountain. That's your paradise, right? That's a life that feels good, that's rewarding, that's prosperous. It's not just like, and, you know, in some way I feel like this fire energy and this earth energy, especially with the Ten of Pentacles, is kind of like we're just fighting to defend what we have. We're fighting to defend our property or to you know, we're fighting because this is my domain, and I don't want anybody coming into my office and messing with my stuff. So we're being very aggressive. We're the first one to sort of you know, to react. It's kind of like I have to strike first before they come and upset this. And I feel like, you know, sometimes that's the right way to go. You know, if that's kind of that's what the situation calls for. But I feel like this is us kind of, we're prioritizing the pentacles more than we're prioritizing the bigger picture. That makes sense. It's kind of like they tell you if you're being mugged or something, right? Like you're going to want to fight and things and defend your property, but maybe it's just like, you know, we got to think of the bigger picture here. I got my family with me, and then so a lot of other factors are going to contribute to our decisions in this moment, right? And well, in a situation that's an extreme example. We don't really have time to sit there and weigh the options. We got to react, and we've got to know how to react in the moment to ensure the best possible outcome. Okay? If we're prioritizing the pentacles rather than the life itself, right? The Empress life, the bigger picture, then we may not make the right sort of decisions here. So we have to, now I don't think it's anything that severe. That was maybe a bad example. But it could be something going on at work. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. It's a work thing or something to do with money. It could be something at home, but I feel that's kind of it's a work type of thing. And I feel like somebody is coming in trying to change too much. It's like someone's coming into your office and rearranging your furniture, right? And we want to react with force. We want to react and we want to yell and say, get out, right? But maybe the Libra energy is saying, whoa, hang on a second. I think you've got some time to think about this. You don't have to react in the spur of the moment, you know. So maybe this is something where, you know, if we just kind of yield, if we just let this energy happen, we don't worry too much about it, we don't stress ourselves out about it too much, we don't try to brute force the problem, that maybe there's a better way to do it. Maybe there's a compromise. Maybe this can somehow work out to make the situation better, because what happens if we fight against this? Let's say this is like your in-laws, right? They're coming over to your house trying to tell you how to cook your food or how to keep your house, you know? And you want to just be upset because it's upsetting. Nobody likes that. I don't like anybody coming into my studio here and rearranging things and changing the camera settings, moving the lights around, changing the soundproofing. It's like, wait a minute, get out of here. Thankfully, nobody does that, but we have that natural defense and that natural response. But maybe if we stop and think about it, it's like, okay, well, maybe I can listen to what this person is saying. Maybe I can control that adrenaline, right? When this starts to happen, our heart starts to beat and we're ready to strike. Maybe we can calm down and think, all right, what is this person really trying to say? Where are they coming from? What are they doing? Why are they doing it? Are they right? Right? But we're not going to know any of this if we just react. Okay? So when we see the fire energy here going from a 3 to a 2, it's kind of a devolving. It's this Aries energy going from the Sun in Aries to the Mars in Aries. It's devolving. Everything's being reduced to me against them. It's a fight. It's either I'm in control or they're in control, and that's just going to be a battle. Now these wands are we're battling. We're battling in this very primitive kind of energy. And I think that the Libra energy here is coming in to say, wait a minute, let's think about it. Let's weigh this out. Let's bring in the information. Let's see if there's a compromise. Because maybe a compromise is going to lead to something way better than just you sort of standing up and confronting them and getting them out of your office. Okay, I've safeguarded my studio here. No one changed my lights around. But maybe there's a better solution. Maybe there's a better outcome. Because I think that the Empress outcome is a more organic outcome. It's kind of saying, yeah, I don't want anybody to come in and just start messing with my stuff. So I got to put the big no on that. But sit down, tell me your ideas. What were you thinking? And then, okay, maybe this actually could be better. Maybe we could actually reach some progress rather than me just preserving and safeguarding what I have. You're not touching this. Well, maybe there's a way we can work together, and this could actually become something that's going to have this more organic growth, something that's going to be way better. So we're not just preserving what we already have. We're expanding on this. This is something that could be more productive, right? More profitable, more lucrative. Maybe it's somebody coming in with an idea, and you're just saying, no, this is my project. I don't want you doing anything. I don't want you touching this project. Maybe it's a work thing. Maybe it's a computer program, or I don't know what it is. You're not messing with my stuff, But I think the Libra energy really is the key here. Not necessarily a compromise, but we're at least willing to sit down in a calm way and listen and have an exchange of ideas. Because maybe there is a way that together, working with this, we can get that Empress energy rather than just the Ten of Pentacles. The Empress makes the Ten of Pentacles look like peanuts. Okay? You got this 9 of Wands underneath everything. You do have the ability to control yourself. You have power. And the reason why you're so passionate about this is because this is your work. This is your home. This is your life. This is your path. This is your purpose. You have a connection here. You have an obligation to this thing. And you'll do whatever it takes to defend this thing. You'll do anything it takes to do what is best for this thing. Sometimes doing what's best for this, whether it's the family, whether this is just about you and your health, maybe, whether this is something at work or something with the business, something with the finances, we get defensive. But our obligation is not to defend what we have, but our obligation is to do what is best for this thing. Even if it means that I have to compromise and say, you know what, my way wasn't the right way. Maybe there is a better way to do it. Maybe moving the lights around would help. I don't know. My obligation is not to defend what I've done, but to do what is best for this thing. Do what is best for the life, right? It's kind of like you go to the doctor or something. The doctor says, well, you got to stop eating so much butter. Your cholesterol's too high, right? And we get defensive. No, don't not take away my butter. There's nothing wrong with butter, right? But our obligation is not to that, not to the butter, right? As much as we may like butter. Our obligation is to do what's best for our physical health. Or even if it's something we think is healthy. I've been eating a lot of vegetables. Well, maybe those particular ones aren't good for you. Or you've been doing a certain kind of exercise. Well, yeah, but it's causing some problems in your knee joints or something. And well, okay, maybe I have enough strength and confidence and security in myself to say, I don't have all the answers. Maybe what I was doing isn't the only way to do it. And as much as it sort of is a blow to my ego, I can, do you remember a few months ago where I had a lot of stuff in the background here? I had a big sort of 3-tiered wedding cake kind of shelf thing. I had a lamp, I had a plant, I had all this stuff. It was really busy behind me, right? I thought it was great. My wife said, maybe not, right? And I had that 2 of Wands defensive. Wait a minute, and you're not touching what I'm doing. How dare you? Put up your dukes. Not really. And but then I realized that, okay, you know what? My obligation is not to just defend my ego, but maybe my obligation is to whatever's going to be best for the channel, right? This channel is not me. It's not the decor. I have an obligation to you, the audience, and to this channel, and to the growth of this business. Especially considering that the busy background was really affecting my readings. And I'm very susceptible to visual energy. I need the right kind of visual stimuli to get me in the right mental zone, spiritual zone, right, to be able to do this. And having a more calm and toned down set design actually has made a big difference in my own personal energy. But that's kind of what I mean with this situation here for you, is that your obligation is to do what's best for the thing, whether it's your physical life, your financial life, your business, your spirituality. The ego is going to be defensive over it. Okay, we see that already with the Sun in Aries, with all the Aries energy. Okay, but we're compromising. We're gonna control ourselves. Control your initial reaction. Take a breath and consider the energy. We're not brute forcing it. Okay. Because what we really want is progress. What we really want is for profit, for gain, for things to succeed and for things to progress. We're not trying to just preserve what I've created because it's mine and my ego wants to defend it. Whatever's going to be best for the growth, whatever's going to lead to an improvement or lead to progress, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, the three of Wands behind you. In your past position, for one thing, this is our identity. Because whatever you're doing, if this is your business or your home or your family or your health or your spiritual practice, it feels like this is you. This is who you are. We're very identified with it. And for a while, I kind of felt like this channel is me. I am this channel. And therefore, any kind of fluctuation in the channel is going to correspond to a fluctuation in me. Channel starts going down, and well, now I'm going down. Any criticism about the channel, then I take as personal criticism, right? And my wife sort of showed me the light on that, and she just said, well, you know what, the background, yeah, it's okay, but it's too busy, and it's not working, And she was right. And I'll listen to her from now on. But the idea is that we identify so strongly with something, and then the ego wants to defend it no matter what, even when maybe it's a better idea to just be open to change, to be flexible. Part of the yin energy of that Empress, being flexible, allowing for change, allowing things to grow and develop in that kind of a way, because it's something that is beyond you. Okay, it's something that is beyond you. The Three of Wands, though, is this feeling that we're right. Okay, and I think that this is an underlying thing for a lot of us, where we're so identified with what this is, and I kind of feel like it's my baby, this is my thing, and I'm right. Whatever opinion I hold, whatever thoughts I have, it's the right one. Not necessarily, right? That's why someone who owns a company or is the CEO of a company, they're not always right? You could be the owner of a company and you say, I'm going to have to hire a CEO because I don't want to make all the decisions, because I don't want to get stuck in that ego where I think I'm always right and then the company goes downhill. And really, it's the company I used to work for. I worked for one company for 15 years. It was only about a year and a half ago I quit that job to do this. Now, this is my job, right? But in that company, it was one person started the company in their garage. And, over the course of 15, 20 years, I was there pretty much from the beginning. But after 15 or 20 years, now hundreds of employees. But that person that started the company, the owner, the one that made all the decisions in the beginning, is not the CEO. The owner, yeah, and on the board of directors, or I don't know how all that kind of stuff works, but they're not the CEO. They're not the president. They're not the one that's in charge of everything, making those kind of decisions. They may have the final say, like the veto power, right? But they're not the one that's orchestrating the day-to-day operations, right? Because they're too identified with that. And he just said, it's impossible for me to feel like this is who I am mirrored in this company, and then I can't separate myself from this in order to make good decisions or to listen to opposing views, right? And that's exactly what this Libra energy is, being able to listen to opposing views and not getting so worked up about it, right? You've got this world or this universe card up above you, and I think this is exactly that. It's that mirror image, that it feels like I am me, the universe is also me, that this is all me, right? It's kind of the thou art that kind of energy. It's the Atman is Brahman, and it's kind of like it's you and this business or this situation or this family. It's identical. You are just mirrored in this thing. And so when somebody has a criticism or a different opinion, it feels like a personal attack. So it makes it very difficult for us to listen to any kind of opposing view or any kind of any other opinion. Anybody coming in, like let's say it is your mother-in-law's coming over and telling you how you should wash your dishes or how you should clean your floor or something, right? And you get defensive. You say, get out of here. Get out of here. This is my floor, right? Well, yeah, you could do that. Very often we do. We say, get out of here, right? It's my floor. I'm going to clean it the way I want to. Even if it's not really as good as their way. So who's the stronger person? The stronger is the person who can say, no, get out of here. Is that person stronger? Or is the person that says, wait a minute, I'm going to check my impulse. Sit down, tell me what you mean. How is your way better? And then you can make a decision. And even then you can just say, nah, get out of here, right? But at least you're able to control that impulse. And by detaching yourself from it a little bit, allows you that flexibility to see if there might be a better way, a more efficient way, a more profitable way, or something like this to get the job done so that we can grow and profit and things can get better. I want to clean the floor faster. It's going to be cleaner. It's going to cost me less. Okay, perfect. The way I was doing it wasn't working so well then, right? And we're strong enough to admit that. Yeah. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It's totally free. Supports the channel. I appreciate that. Your general energy is this 10 of Pentacles. This is the ideal life. This is the best life. This is the life that we want, right? The problem is with this is that sometimes we write this or we draw this picture out in pen. Now, very often, well, I guess back in the day, I used to get the 10 of Pentacles and I would ask you as the viewer, I'd say, get out a sheet of paper, get out a pencil, draw a picture of your best life. What would it look like? Draw your pets, your plants, your people, whatever your best life looks like. Draw that picture. But I always tell you to do it in pencil because it's going to grow and change over time. Sometimes we draw it in pen and we think that is it. It has to look a certain way. And we get locked in and we have no flexibility. And we're so identified with the image rather than the spirit of the thing. Because the spirit of the thing is just like, it's organic, it's growing, it's changing, it's just morphing, and it's just a living, breathing thing. Over time is going to become different, rather than this fixed. We're locked into the image, and it's a static image, and it's saying it's just like a photograph. It's going to look like this forever. Okay, and that's how the Empress is different than the Ten of Pentacles. So we have to get out of that mode of being locked into what this is going to look like. Now, the interesting thing in this whole reading is that, you've got your fire. You don't have any water. You don't have any air. You got earth. Yeah, even the major arcana energy, this is earth. This is kind of Mother Earth, right? But you've got a little bit of air energy in terms of your star and your justice card. Okay? The water energy is not a problem because you care about this so much that you're willing to fight for it. Even if that is kind of, even if that is sort of not so good for the thing. You love it so much you're going to fight for it. But sometimes we love so much we have to kind of back off and let things change and let things happen. Sometimes we got to let the mother-in-law come in and show us how to do the floor, or whatever the case is. We don't like that. It makes us feel that we're not the ruler of our own castle. We're not the emperor of our own domain, But there's no air cards here. So I feel like we're not having that conversation, that what's needed is some air energy. We need to be able to have a conversation without just getting angry, without saying, get out of here. Let's sit down, let's have the chat. Let's think about it in a reasonable way. Let's be open to the possibility. Doesn't mean you have to say yes. Doesn't mean you have to change what you're doing. I could have said, nope, I want all that busy chaos behind me. I like it and I'm going to keep it. We have to at least have that conversation. And I think intuitively you know that. With this star card, this is what you really need to follow. Follow your star. Follow your soul, your spirit, not your ego. Okay? Because this is going to show you the right way. And what's important is that this thing is going in the right direction, developing the way it should, in the best way possible, to be as big or as profitable or as successful or whatever, as it can be. Right? The ego is saying, nope, I want things to go my way. I'm the captain of the ship, gosh darn it. And I am gonna go my own way and do my own thing. Even if spirit, your intuition, even if the star above you, even if your solar light is showing you where you really are supposed to go, what happens when your spirit is pointing in one direction but your ego is pointing in the other? Then we kind of have this impasse, right? Then we have conflict. And then we really are getting angry at whatever those symbols are outside of us, the mother-in-law, the coworker, right? We're getting angry at those things because that's something objective that we can look at and focus our anger on that represents that split between spirit and ego. We need the harmony. We need to reconnect that. Okay? And of course, what you don't want, the obstacle here, is the Ace of Pentacles. You don't want to have to sort of change course. You don't want to have to do things that different way. Because we're sort of begrudging, like, okay, fine, I'll wash the floor with vinegar or whatever, Sort of grumbling, like, okay, fine. The ego doesn't want to do it, but this is the thing that needs to change. Okay? So it does feel like there is this feeling of something interfering in your life. But it's really, I think, a couple of things, especially with the star card. It's spirit trying to show you where your obstacles are. If you're getting if you're getting heated by something that somebody else is saying to you or doing and it's hitting a button, I feel like it's kind of poking at a sore spot in you. And that's what the star card does. The first phase of the star card is when the light enters us. We perceive something with our spiritual perception. It lights us up inside, shows us where our knots of karma are. If something is pushing your button, that's a button I got to look at. And I got to notice, oh, wow, that's pushing my button. That's pushing an ego button most of the time. Okay? And that's going to allow us then to sort of bypass that and follow the spiritual light and let the thing happen. I'm going to do what's best for this life rather than just what the ego wants to do, because the ego will sink the ship if it has to. Right? But if we can just kind of bypass the ego a little bit, follow spirit, we're going to do what's best for this thing, even if the ego kind of has to sit in the corner and mumble under its breath for a minute or two. That's the star card. And it doesn't mean that we're always going to have to do what somebody else tells us to do. That's not it at all. If that's your takeaway from this, I think you're missing the point. Okay? We have to follow the spiritual path, even when the ego disagrees. It is our interaction with the energy coming from outside of us. That's part of our star card. That shows us where these tangles, these knots of wires, and these buttons are. So somebody's coming into your realm and telling you a better way to do something, and we're feeling some type of way about it. That feeling is what we have to look at. We can take the information into account and make a decision, yes or no. That doesn't really matter. What matters is, why am I feeling all angry about this? Why is my ego getting all worked up over it? Okay. Finally, with that Empress energy, this is that paradise. This is what really matters. The organic growth and success of this life, of this energy, for you to manifest your reality, for you to achieve your paradise, for you to create your big rock candy mountain. Okay? It doesn't really matter how we get here. If the ego gets all of its gratification, fine. If it doesn't, fine. As long as we're creating the life that we want to create, that's magic. That is the power of manifestation. It's not all ego, right? Ego's got to do the right thing, even if it has to kind of grumble under its breath, Even if it begrudgingly does it, the ego's got to make the right decisions, influenced by spirit, to create that best life, to create that paradise. Let's look at this mystery card, though, shall we? I want to see some water energy, right? I want to see some good feelings here, some good vibes. Or I want to see something like a 6 of Swords. A conversation's taking place. Maybe a 4 of Swords. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. The sun. Look at that. The spiritual self. The spiritual self illuminating what is within you. And now the goal, the sort of star that we see, because the sun is a star, right? The sun is your spiritual self. And it sort of is making the ego, it's putting the ego in check a little bit. But there's clarity here. There's light. There's life. There's love. This is what is really important. This is what's guiding your way. And sometimes the self has to loom very large in our life to put the ego in perspective. So I think that the spiritual energy is increasing in your life. I think you're focusing more on spirit, and the ego is sort of feeling its size a little bit. In the presence of this sort of spiritual power, the ego seems rather small and insignificant, loses a little bit of its hubris, I guess. But this is clarity too. This is, again, the ability to do the right thing, even if the ego doesn't like it, because there is spiritual clarity. So this isn't about what's going to be better for your life or your job or the floor of your kitchen, whatever. This is about your own enlightenment. Yeah. So I think something's coming in your life right now that's going to it's going to rub you the wrong way. It's going to push your buttons. Use it as a tool. Use it as an opportunity to further your enlightenment. Now we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do a hexagram from the Jing. We'll do some oracle cards. Click on the link in the corner. There's also a link down below. New readings for Aquarius, usually Thursday and Sunday. I feel like this is something kind of needed before then, right? So be sure to watch both of your other readings as well. Okay, you may even want to check out the recent Aries reading. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.